Are we good?
It's loading up. It's preparing the live stream at this point.
Okay.
And it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. It's rocking. Uh-oh. We're
Not
there.
cooperating.
Now why am I hearing myself? Oh, I got two of them. It's rolling.
We're good?
Yes.
Okay. Let me
Oh,
how's that?
great.
Everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Apple Tech News segment. The month of June has been filled with some news from the Worldwide Developers Conference 2025. But before we get started, I'd like to mark the passing of an Apple pioneer. His name is Bill Atkinson. Bill Atkinson was Apple's 51st employee. Passed away on June 5th, age of 74 from pancreatic cancer. Uh, Coincidentally, the same thing that caused Steve Jobs' demise. He was the architect of the Macs interface. He joined Apple in 1978. Atkinson was integral in developing the graphic user interface for the Lisa and the original Macintosh, working closely with Steve Jobs, of course. He conceived key interface elements still ubiquitous today, things like the menu bar, selection lasso, the famous marching ants animation, uh, the rounded corner rectangles, quick draw graphic routines, and also discovering some efficient algorithms for drawing circles and dithering images. Back then, there was limited hardware, there was limited memory and stuff, and so writing code was a you had to be frugal. And today we have lots of storage, lots of memory, so we can get a little sloppier, but couldn't do it back then. He was, for us old timers, he was the innovator behind Mac Paint. Mac Paint allowed users to draw directly on the Mac's bitmap display, tools and workflows that heavily influenced later software like Photoshop. Some of his most famous work is a program called HyperCard, which was released in 1987. It was a groundbreaking hypermedia platform he dubbed a software erector set. It essentially allowed non-programmers to link text, images, and actions, and essentially a graphic precursor to the World Wide Web that we know today. After departing Apple in 1990, Atkinson founded a company, helped co-found a company called General Magic with other original Macintosh team. They were aiming to build handheld devices that were decades ahead of the smartphone era. Concurrently to that, he was also into nature photography. He published some acclaimed books on about polished stone and other subjects, and he continued to inspire through his art and code well into his later years. In a post on X, Tim Cook paid tribute to Bill for his many contributions, acknowledged his passing. If you're interested in the firsthand stories about Bill Atkinson and the original Macintosh team, check out Andy Hertzfeld, his website at folklore.org. Folklore.org is Andy Hertzfeld's personal time capsule. It's a platform for the oral history of the Macintosh team. It's laid out in a rich human collection of anecdotes and insider tales. It's a living collection of about 100 short, bite-sized stories, mostly from Andy, that cover the early Mac development from 79 to 84. The stories became the basis for the 2004 book, Revolution in the Valley. Andy, incidentally, came and spoke to us one time at MacNexus a long time ago. As a sidebar, the story of General Magic was chronicled in a great documentary. The 2018 documentary highlights the visionary yet tragic arc of the company and its profound influence on modern tech. General Magic, so often called the most important company to come out of Silicon Valley that no one has heard of. It was a legendary incubator of innovation in the 1990s, and though its commercial products failed, it laid the technological groundwork and conceptual foundation for much of today's mobile and digital communications landscape. The alumni have all gone on to pretty impressive things. Moving on, the biggest news of the month was, of course, Apple's annual Worldwide Developers Conference. Took place from June 9th through the 13th. Here's a rundown of what was shown and discussed in essentially they discussed forthcoming operating systems, and you take a quick look at each one of them, or most of them. First up, as part of an overhaul to its operating systems, Apple is making one of the most significant changes over its OS branding. Starting in 2026, it will shift from current versions, like we have with macOS 15, iOS 18, etc., to a year-based system across its entire OS lineup. As such, the names will change to iOS 26, iPadOS 26, macOS Tahoe 26, watchOS 26, tvOS 26, and visionOS 26, following the pattern going forward. For those of you that have not seen the keynote, here's Apple's feature quilt for iOS 26. Look around the quilt. There's a few things to get excited about. Let's take a look at a couple of the highlights. First up, after more than a decade of a flat, clean user interface that was last overhauled in iOS 7, when former Apple Chief Design Officer Johnny Ive took over for the design of the software, the iPhone is getting a new look. The new design extends throughout the Apple product lineup, from iOS to watchOS, etc. The design overall is called Liquid Glass. The Liquid Glass interface also now enables a third way to view app icons on the Apple home screen. Not content with the light and dark modes, iOS 26 now features a translucent, all clear look. Every icon is clear glass with no color. Lock screens can also have an enhanced 3D effect using spatial scenes, which use machine learning to give depth to the background photos. It comes with a dynamic and adaptable lock screen. Translucency is a defining characteristic of liquid glass, behaving like glass in the real world. In a way, it deals with light and color of objects behind and near controls. But it's not just a glassy look. The liquid part of liquid glass refers to how controls can merge and adapt, dynamically morphing. In the example here on the screen, Apple showed the glassy time numerals on the iPhone lock screen stretched to accommodate the image of a dog, and even stretches the image shifted to accommodate incoming notifications. The dock and widgets are now rounded and glassy panels that float above the background. And as the notifications fill the bottom of the screen, the subject in the background is pushed up and the time numerals resized to accommodate. Next is Apple's Visual Intelligence. It's a new AI-powered visual recognition and interaction system built into Apple's operating systems. It's part of the broader Apple Intelligence initiative, but focused specifically on understanding and acting on what you see on your screen or you capture with your camera. The Messages app now gets group chat improvements with some custom backgrounds, polls, typing indicators, and spam filtering within the unknown senders folder. And another feature will be live translations. When Apple releases its new operating system this fall, it's going to have the ability to do real-time translations in most of its critical communications apps. This new capability runs entirely on device, and so none of your sensitive communications go away or go anywhere. If you're speaking to someone via the phone app, the iPhone will translate what's being said, with a spoken voice translating what has been said into your language. The recipient will also hear translations in their own language. Apparently, they don't even have to have an iPhone. The main restriction right now is that live translation for the phone is available only on one-on-one calls and in English, French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. As we said above, it's not only the phone app that will get live translation features, FaceTime and messages will as well. And the translation app is also finding its way, surprisingly, into the music app. There are now iPhone and Messages extra tools in iOS 26. When you get a call from an unknown number, your iPhone will pick up the call in the background and will hear what the caller is saying. If it's something actually useful and not spam, your iPhone will ring and you'll see a description of what the caller is saying. You can then choose to answer the call if you wish. There's also a hold assist feature, which can help you save from hours of hold music. This feature automatically detects hold music and activates a background mode for the call. You are now free to leave the phone app or even lock your phone. When an agent connects, your phone will call you and will also tell you when and what the agent said while you were away. Pretty incredible. Apple has also introduced a new API that allows developers of third-party camera apps like Kino and Filmic Pro to offer cinematic mode video recording capabilities in their apps if they choose. Apple introduced cinematic mode in iOS 15, and it's available on all iPhone 13 models and newer. It's inspired by Hollywood films. The mode allows users to record video with a shallow depth of field and automatic focus changes between subjects. Your Apple Maps app is also getting smarter. As you move about, Maps will learn your routine and suggest better routes each day. It will know your preferred route and adapt to changes to your daily commute. With the new visited places feature, you don't have to rack your brain for that restaurant you went to, but can't remember the name. Your iPhone will detect where you are and store it in case you need to come back to it later. As far as air travel, there will be in-airport directions to find your gate. There are also new features to help you get through TSA with fewer physical documents in your hand. In 9 participating states, you'll be able to store your ID in your Apple Wallet. Digital ID can be used for domestic travel at supported TSA checkpoints, in apps, and in person, where age and identity verification are required, according to Apple. Apple also announced upgrade support for airline boarding passes within the Apple Wallet app. The new feature will see boarding passes available via iPhone's lock screen and in the dynamic island. While quick access to features like Apple Maps and Find My for luggage tracking will also be added. The Wallet app will automatically figure out information like delays and departure gate as well. As of June 14th, these 10 airlines are supporting iOS 26 live activity feature in the Wallet app's boarding pass. Undoubtedly, there will be more as time passes. These are a few of the iOS 26 features coming in the fall. Historically, around mid-September. If you still want to wait till then, as it does every year, Apple will offer a public beta version. iOS 26 public beta will launch this July. The beta release will be available to anyone who wants it via enrollment at the beta.apple.com. As always, any admonition about not using a beta for any mission critical purposes on any of your devices. Here's the iOS hardware compatibility list that was given on June 9th. The core requirements essentially requires a processor, an A13 Bionic or newer. Devices older than the A13, that would be like iPhones 10R, 10S, the 10S Max have been dropped. Has a minimum 4 GB RAM need for smooth performance, while most iPhones support this. And storage, you need at least 8 GB free to install, with 15 to 20 GB recommended to be safe. And of course, when you're installing it, you need to have at least 50% charge on your phone or have it plugged in during installation. And of course, stable internet Wi-Fi for downloading the installer. Next up is the feature quilt for iPadOS. Most of the major iOS 26 features will be in iPadOS 26 just as well. Things like liquid glass, interface, live transcription, etc. Personally, I think the iPad OS 26 is the most transformative update for an iPad in quite a while. It could become a true no-compromise laptop replacement for some folks. Apple is turning the iPad into a more capable machine with iPadOS 26. The update introduces a revamped multitasking system that mirrors the experience on the macOS, finally giving users greater flexibility when connected to a keyboard and trackpad. It includes window tiling. This allows you to arrange windows with a flick to the left or right, and now you can also split your iPad screen into thirds and quarters. It's a familiar set of controls, lets you close or minimize your windows, then take full screen or arrange windows in easy to use view layouts. With Expose, you can switch to the window you need. Simply swipe up and hold to see all of your windows spread out, and then tap the one you need to bring it to the front. iPadOS 26 gets a menu bar. You can quickly find commands you need in an app with the new menu bar, which is always available with a swipe down from the top of the screen. We can now access your downloads, documents, and more folders in the dock now on iPad. The File app has also been enhanced. You can find what you're looking for faster with new folder colors and customization options. A new updated list view gives you resizable columns and collapsible folders, and you can set the default app for opening specific file types. And now you can now export or download large files and run other computationally heavy processes in the background while you do other things. And finally, one of the most useful apps, Preview, is finally coming to the iPad. The Preview app on the Mac is a built-in macOS utility, primarily designed for viewing, editing, and managing PDFs and images. Despite its simple name, it's a powerful and versatile tool. I use it every day, multiple times a day. With iPadOS 26 and macOS 26, Apple is expanding the phone app to the Mac and the iPad for the first time. It may not make a lot of sense for those platforms to have a phone app, but you can actually make phone calls from your iPad and Mac using Apple's Wi-Fi calling features. The phone app on iPad and Mac features all of your incoming calls, voicemails, contacts, and FaceTime calls, and has all the new features that Apple announced for the iPhone's phone app too. Here's what's new in the phone app across all of your devices. You get call screening. Of course, calls from unknown callers are automatically answered, and you're asked to share a name and a reason for calling, and then you decide whether you want to pick it up or not. And of course, we talked about live translation and the hold assist as well. These are just some of the features coming in iPadOS 26. Developer betas available now, with public betas arriving in July. Presumably, the official release will be same as iOS 26 in mid-September. Here is the iPadOS hardware compatibility list that was given June 9th. As far as the system requirements overview, system on the chip requires it has to be at least an A12 series chip or newer. It drops support for the 7th generation iPad, and all supported iPads must include Apple's Neural Engine. If you don't know about the Apple's Neural Engine, it's a specialized processor designed to accelerate machine learning tasks on devices like phones, iPads, and Macs. It enhances features such as Face ID, Siri, real-time image processing, while being both energy efficient and maintaining user privacy by processing data on device. Here is the feature quilt of macOS 26 codenamed Tahoe. And so many macOS Tahoe users, they're in for a new era with macOS with a refined, unified design aesthetic, deeper integration with iPhone and Apple Intelligence, and meaningful improvements across productivity, accessibility, and system utility. It also marks the end of Intel support in Apple's desktops. Just like iOS and iPadOS, macOS 26 will have liquid glass visual motif in this next era of software design. Like we said before, it's marked by soft transparency and subtle gradients. Glass-like design appears in just about every interface, including the menu bar and the lock screen, app icons, and sidebars and apps. First off, the Spotlight can now perform system actions and even in-app actions, such as playing a podcast or starting a recording. You can even fill out parameters such as who you're sending an email to right inside Spotlight. There are even quick keys for you to use to speed things up further. If you type SM to send a message or AR to create a reminder, you can set up your own quick keys too, really expanding the capabilities of customization. For example, if you set up quick keys to take actions within an app that you're using, letting you quickly set up a task for all from the keyboard. Other Spotlight enhances include better language understanding for searches, better natural language understanding for searches, and visual previews for more file types and app content. As was stated earlier with iPadOS, the phone app arrives on the Mac thanks to continuity, which lets users relay cellular calls from their nearby iPhone. The phone app on the Mac has familiar features of the phone app on the iPhone, including recent favorites, voicemails, and the latest updates for call screening and hold assist. The live activities feature from a user's nearby iPhone will now appear in the menu bar on their Mac so they can stay on top of things happening in real time, like an upcoming Uber ride or a flight or a live sports score. When clicking on a live activity, the map opens an iPhone mirroring to show more information so users can take action right from their Mac. FaceTime also gets a live translation. It helps users communicate across languages by following along with translated live captions while still hearing the speaker's voice. There's a new Apple Games app. It's an all-in destination that gives players a home for all their games and playing with friends. The Mac also gets an all-new magnifier. Since 2016, magnifier on the iPhone and iPad has given users who are blind or have low vision tools to zoom in, read text, and detect objects around them. This year, magnifiers come to the Mac to make the physical world more accessible for users with low vision. The magnifier app for Mac connects to a user's camera so they can zoom in on their surroundings, such as a screen or a whiteboard. The magnifier works with continuity camera on an iPhone, as well as attached USB cameras, and supports reading documents using Desk View. Magnifier on the Mac makes the physical world more accessible for anyone with low vision. Apple released this compelling short video on YouTube about a month ago that illustrates what it can do. It's pretty impressive video. These are just a few of the features on macOS 26 Tahoe. Again, developer beta is available now, with the public beta coming in July. Final release in September, like iOS and iPadOS. Here is the list of all the macOS powered devices that are eligible for macOS Tahoe 26. It's important to note macOS Tahoe is the last macOS a version to support Intel Macs. Future releases like next year, macOS 27 will be an Apple Silicon only. To access all AI capabilities like live translation or Apple Intelligence, you must run Apple Silicon M1 or newer. So even right now, when you see up there, Intel-based Macs are, they have limited support. Those functions won't work on those machines. On the top of Apple's Siri AI upgrade, this article came out from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman on June 12th. Apple has set internal release target of spring of 2026 for its delayed upgrade of Siri, which will allow the voice assistant to tap into consumers' personal data and on-screen activities. The revamped Siri will be part of an iOS 26.4 software update with an exact date not set yet, but potentially will be previewed at the next iPhone launch this fall. The upgrade has been delayed multiple times with internal finger pointing between AI and marketing teams and technical challenges that required Siri to be rebuilt entirely. Continuing on the AI rumors from Bloomberg, Apple executives have discussed potentially bidding for artificial intelligence startup Perplexity AI to address the need for more AI talent and technology. A deal would help Apple develop an AI-based search engine, which is part of efforts to cope with the potential loss of its longstanding arrangement with Google because of the ongoing antitrust trial. Apple has also considered teaming up with Perplexity instead of buying it, which would involve adding Perplexity as an AI search engine option in Apple's Safari web browser and integrating it into Siri. Put a pin in this one. Here's a feature set for the watchOS that Apple released. Let's take a quick look at what we can expect with these. Just like iOS 26 and iPadOS 26, macOS 26, watchOS 26 has been updated with Apple's new liquid glass display design, transforming the look of some interface elements. Liquid glass is, of course, like we talked about before, it's translucent, letting light and color shine through. It is designed to behave like real glass, so it can subtly reflect light, and it uses real-time rendering to change the highlights that you see on the buttons and controls menus when you move. App icons on the Apple Watch have been redesigned to look like multiple layers of glass stacked on one another, with a slight depth that also makes them look 3D. Icons and other liquid glass elements stand out from the background and look like they're floating over the content behind them. Apple changed the layout of the workout app so you can no longer just scrolling through a list of types. There are 4 buttons in the corners of the app by getting to different actions, and you can scroll or use a digital crown to move through the workout types. The 4 buttons that you get to workout view customizations, audio controls, alert options, and options for setting goals, pace, and route. It's also where Workout Buddy can be enabled for a supported workout. Apple added a workout media option to make it easier to start up music, podcast, audiobooks, or whatever you prefer to listen to when you begin a workout. You can select your favorites, or if you have Apple Music, your watch can automatically choose playlists based on a workout type and the music that you like. Once you set up workout media for a workout type, your chosen audio will automatically play when you start your workout. Workout Buddy is a generative AI coach ingested from Apple Fitness Plus trainers. It develops real-time pep talks, highlights milestones, and summarizes performance, integrated into the revamped workout app with corner shortcuts and music suggestions. Apple made major updates to the Smart Stack, which is the widget interface that you can get by swiping up on your watch face. Smart Stack is more intelligent and it can incorporate info from location, built-in sensors, and routines to make suggestions for you. There is a Smart Stack Hints feature that allows you to relevant suggestions that you might want to take advantage of. If you're in a remote area, you might suggest to backtrack, for example, or if you have a meeting coming up, you'll also see a suggested widget to activate Do Not Disturb. When you're traveling, you might see the weather for the location you're heading. Smart Stack Hints appear on the Apple Watch display as a small liquid glass icon without a notification or a haptic tap. Widgets in Smart Stack are now customizable, so you can choose the content that's most important to you. You can select widgets from Apple apps or third-party apps. Excuse me. In Apple Watch 26, the control center is customizable. If there are controls that you don't use often, you can remove them, or you can reorder the placement of each option. So what you use most oftenly is front and center. All of the controls that are in the control center gallery in the iPhone can be added on the Apple Watch, including third-party control center options. Third-party controls can be added to Apple Watch even if the iOS apps that they're from does not have an Apple Watch equivalent. Third-party apps can have specific controls created just for the Apple Watch. On the Apple Watch Ultra, Control Center controls can also be assigned to the action button. Another handy feature is the one-handed flick to dismiss notifications, mute calls, and timers, and return to face on Series 9, 10, and the Ultra 2 models. To go along with the double tap gesture that Apple added in previous versions of watchOS, there's a new wrist flick gesture that you can use for managing notifications. Wrist flick is a one-handed way to dismiss incoming notifications and mute calls, alarms, and alerts when you don't have a free hand for swiping. You can use wrist flick, turn your wrist over and back, and the accelerometer and gyroscope detect the action to dismiss what's on the screen, returning you to your watch face. Suggested smart actions will appear in messages based on the context of a text. The contextual suggestions that could appear would be like sharing your location upon request, Apple Cash, or check-in prompts. As far as the Messages app, Apple overhauled Smart Replies on the Apple Watch, and there's a new on-device model that's smarter than before. Smart actions will show up based on the context of the message, so you can get more done with a tap. If someone asks you where you are, for example, you can tap to send them your Find My location. Or if someone messages you about paying them for dinner, your watch can pop up the Apple Cash interface. The Messages app also adopts several features for the iPhone, like customizable backgrounds, polling, and live translation. The phone app supports call screening and hold assist as well. 2 new features in iOS 26. And finally, the Notes app is now available on the Apple Watch, so you can create and view notes already on your wrist. As far as viewing apps, anything you saved in iCloud Notes can be viewed in the Apple Watch Notes app. You can preview images, handwritten notes, and complete checklists. As far as creating notes, Siri dictation or the keyboard can be used for quick note-taking. For pin notes, important notes like a grocery list can be pinned to the top of the app. Lock notes are also viewable with a wrist authentication. There's a Smart Stack. Notes that you recently edited on an iPhone or an iPad or a Mac show up as suggestions in the Smart Stack, so you can quickly access them on your watch. These are just some of the new features coming in watchOS 26. watchOS 26 is available to developers for beta testing now, and Apple plans to release the public beta in July. After the testing period, the software will launch alongside Apple Watch Series 11 and Apple Watch Ultra 3 models in September. Here is a list of the supported watches. Essentially, Apple Watch OS 26 is compatible with second generation Apple Watch SE and Apple Watch Series 6 and later. It also requires an iPhone 11 or later with iOS 26 installed. Moving on to the last operating system we will look at tonight. Here's the feature quilt for tvOS 26 release. The most dramatic change in tvOS 26 is the liquid glass interface. As is discussed before, it's fluid, translucent design system that stretches across the entire Apple ecosystem. On the Apple TV, it means your home screen, your control center, media overlays, and the Apple TV app now shimmer with dynamic lighting and layered textures and soft refraction effects. The design isn't cosmetic, it's responsive. Buttons react with subtle bounce and distortion, while cinematic art and content cards appear to float off the screen. The effect is closest to what we've seen in high-end gaming user interface or OLED-powered smart TVs. On the compatibility note, Liquid Glass is only available on Apple TV 4K second generation, that's from 2021 and newer. Apple TV HD and first generation 4K models will get tvOS without the new interface visuals. Karaoke night gets an upgrade. tvOS 26 introduces Apple Music Sing for Apple TV that lets you use your phone as a live mic, cue songs collaboratively across multiple devices, and view real-time lyrics with multilingual support and emoji reactions. It's an attempt by Apple to bring music-based interactions to the TV. Some of the requirements, you're going to need an Apple TV 4K third generation, plus an iPhone 11 or newer. tvOS 26 finally lets you set an AirPlay-enabled speaker, not just the HomePods, as your default speaker. This is a big win for Sonos users, LG and Samsung soundbar owners, and those who rely on multi-room AirPlay setups. You can assign your preferred speaker or speaker group permanently, and tvOS will remember even after it reboots. Pretty handy. There's also a new Apple Login API for apps. Apple introduced a developer-focused feature. It's a login API that links app credentials to your Apple ID. This drastically reduces the annoying need to re-enter usernames and passwords when reinstalling apps and switching devices. It's not single sign-on for every service yet, but it's a step towards it, especially valuable for users who jump between devices in a multi-user household. FaceTime has also received some enhancements on tvOS 26, including incoming call notifications, contact posters when starting a call, and live captions in French, German, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, and Spanish. And that's an overview of many of the things discussed in at the Worldwide Developers Conference 25 keynote. We didn't cover the Vision OS because I don't know if anyone in the club has a Vision OS device yet, but we'll see what the future brings. As with all things in the computer technology, feature sets may not always come into on their own expected release dates if there are complications. Cutting edge tech has its own timeline. If you're interested in seeing the 1 hour and 32-minute event keynote, it is on YouTube and or the Apple Events page. You can see the links there on the screen. All the links generated tonight and more will be distributed in a PDF by Bob White in his normal MacNexus email blast. I will post it sooner on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is a great forum for late-breaking curated Apple tech news and support, and we encourage everyone to come out to check it out. Before I get back to Thomas, I want to encourage the MacNexus membership to consider volunteering some time to the club. We have an open seat on the board of directors. With Bob White's recent health issues and our busy aging demographic, It's become obvious the club will be facing some challenges in the future. The club's only viable with the involvement of volunteers. Pete Losey will be returning on July 5th for our first Saturday of Zoom workshop. Whatever the topic, Pete always brings a whole breadth of knowledge to share, and it's guaranteed to be informative.
If any of you, just to pipe in, if any of you have any requests on what you would like Pete to cover, why don't you put it in the chat or contact me so I can get with Pete on that.
Yeah, good idea. I know he didn't get to finish his second half of his AI, but I know Ken covered some of it, so we'll see what plays out. Pete's always pretty flexible. And of course, before we go, I want to wish Bob White a fast recovery from his recent health challenges. Bob has been an invaluable member to the club for decades, and we owe him a great deal. Back to you, Thomas.
Oh, thank you so much, Al. Are there any questions for Al out there? I am seeing no questions for Al. Well, we will move on. Does anyone have any issues with their devices? This would be a question and answer time. I'm hoping that my fellow board members of great knowledge will assist me to make me seem like I'm really intelligent.
Not maybe Chat GPT will help us. You know,
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are there any issues, questions, statements?
Can Melissa show us how she did that floating clapping hands?
Sure.
Hi, I just went to React and
Oh,
there
reactions.
there are animated reactions. There
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
There it
You
is.
figured it out.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Brilliant. Outstanding.
Well, thanks.
So look at the little chevron on the React item.
Oh, perfect.
And
that's cool.
oh, was
And
it
Randy, oh, okay. I was going, oh, you got your hand up, Randy. Yes, speak to us. Yes, no. All right. I am not any other statements, questions, issues, declarations. Yes, Mary.
I've got a couple things I usually do, right? I just found a fun thing that I thought I'd share. I was watching a special and they were looking into the Vikings and they were talking about King Harold Bluetooth. And it turns out that that is how we got the name. The people who started the company for Bluetooth took the name of their Viking era king. I guess some of you
Oh, wow.
know
Huh.
that. I thought it was kind of a fun little fact that that I'd share. The other thing is we had talked about if somebody else has a question, please, but I just something we had talked about incogni at the Saturday meeting, which is to remove data brokers. I mean, for your name to be removed from the data brokers' databases. And I just wanted to report that I joined and they sent in 320 requests for me. 233 have been completed, 88 are in progress, and they say they saved me 174 hours. But this is the one that I thought was interesting too, is a suppression list entries, which is in 55 that brokers have added your information to their suppression list, which means they will never recollect any personal information that could be associated with you. So
Oh,
just because we have been talking about that, I thought some people might find that interesting. So there we are, buddies.
well, that's great. No, that sounds like a very useful activity there.
That was
Yeah.
$100, by the way, for a year.
Oh, all right.
but
Our data is worth that easily.
I've used it myself. It it works, Uh, there's so many hundreds of data brokers out there that get your information from an assortment of different sources, and it's purchased and stuff. Governments even buy it from data brokers for their own reasons. Uh, it's too bad that that we have to live in an era where, you know, uh, people take their privacy in such a cavalier fashion and people monetize it, people with agendas monetize it, and we have to have these kinds of services, but it is what it is, where we live in.
And people, if you do join, beware when the sites that it lists are not the sites that you visited. These are the data broker sites. So you won't recognize necessarily the names of the sites that it says it's gone to. So just as a caution. Anyway, that's
Excellent. Thank you, Mary.
yeah.
Sure appreciate that. Anyone else out there have some information they'd like to share, or issues that they have with their devices, or issues they have in their life? Oh, no, 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 no. We're not doing psychology today. Well, oh, yes, Randy.
Yeah, just wondering, Al, great. You did mention the Apple Watch. Is there any new updates on timing of when all of the sensors will again be available, like for the blood oxygen, the heart? I mean, all the sensors. Any updates on timing?
No, no, I think that's, the one company that they're in litigation with about that. I think the hardware is in the phone. It's just not activated, and it can be activated with a software patch. So, this is gonna have to wind its way through the course, and either they'll they'll come to some accommodation, or um, they'll have some way to engineer it in such a fashion that it doesn't violate any of the patents. Uh, I would think that that's forthcoming, but blood ox devices are pretty inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon for 25 bucks and stuff. But it is handy to have it on the watch it's on there all the time. Uh, the the biggie is blood sugar. When that happens, if they're able to miniaturize it and put it on a watch, uh, I would expect the insurance companies will be buying your Apple Watches for you, or you could because anyone who has to deal with type 2 diabetes or full-blown diabetes know that just the consumables, pricking your finger and all that stuff, that can run you $100 or more a year, or even those little stick-on things. Those only have like a couple of week life, and you have to replace them, and they're not cheap either. But they give you accurate information and stuff. You stick it in, and does a nominally a little invasive puncture, and you have a little bandage over it, and then apparently you take your phone and on an app on it, and it can reads the information that from the appliance that's stuck to you. And
So beware of that, though. I think on Facebook there's some ads already
yeah,
for
it's
the blood for reading it, and it sounds like they're really not ready for prime time.
yeah, I would say that you're absolutely right. Not ready for prime time.
Well,
Go on there.
I was going to say, one of the things that I wondered when you made your presentation, Al, it was talking about how to pinning some stuff in a note. Can you do that already, and how do you do it?
You can pin a note right now in the Notes app.
And what does that do if you pin it?
Well, it's so that if you're like me and you have hundreds of notes in different
Yes.
categories, so it's the first thing you see instead of having to through a long list of hundreds of items, or even if you have them broken down into folders, if like for instance, I every time I surf the internet every day, I have a working document for that month of stories that I put a title and a link on it, for of the events of that month, and then from that list of stuff, I extract newsworthy items and stuff for the club. Well, I only because I'm always making notes and other unrelated things, but I access that frequently. I want that pinned to the top, so that's the first thing that I see. And then so the next month, I'll unpin that one and I'll pin that month's in there. So that's just an example of whatever you may see. It could be a grocery list or something that's frequently accessed that you want to have eyes on and not wade through a whole bunch of other peripheral information.
And
That's
and
the
what things can you pin? I mean, you can use
grocery
them
list.
in notes. So
Anything you create in notes, you can pin.
what other applications? Maybe I know there's something in maps, but
Let's
does
see.
anybody else use them? Oh, and we've got a question from Melissa. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not so much a question. I wanted to add to what Al was talking about in terms of pinning wherever it appears. Uh, it's kind of like the bulletin board in your life that you're you want to pin and unpin. Like Al is talking about, it's kind of a temporary place of putting something on top of the pile. And then when you've dealt with that, you want to unpin it and let it stay in your notes collection because you might find it useful to get to that information again. But again, the pinning, we can't have top priority on everything because that's worthless. So we have to pin selectively and then unpin. And I only say that, Mary, because I have a habit of not unpinning things.
It sounds like it's a way of prioritizing.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And it's in the Notes app. It's pretty simple. I mean, open it up and then it's in the file menu. Just go down to the bottom and at the bottom of the drop down menu, and you'll see it right there. And since I have something pinned, there's like an unpin right there, and that's how I go about unpinning that one and pinning something new. Pretty helpful, pretty useful little. I asked ChatGPT to give me some information on data brokers, and I've started to post some of that stuff in the chat there. So avail yourself. Some interesting stuff.
I really like the one that says why it matters on what they're doing, which is they look at buying habits, health, political affiliation, income level, interests, and behaviors. That's
Yeah.
kind of serious stuff.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And Barbara is it Beto? Is that right, Barbara? She has a question there, Thomas. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, it's in the chat?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see it in the chat. Can we still pin contacts in messages? I don't know. Al, do you know? Can we
I don't know.
pin?
And what do you
I
mean?
never pinned contacts.
I know that you can by design. I think it puts so that your newest messages close to the top, but I believe you can drag the order up. I believe. I think I did that earlier today.
I have 6 people in little circles
Yeah.
at the top of my iPhone messages. So is that what you're asking, Barbara?
That is this is Lisa. That is
Yes.
pinning. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I have too. You can pin the people that you message the most right up at the top.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm looking at my iPhone, there is a circle with 3 dots in it. And I do see an edit pins there. And Mary, I never knew you could pin something in messages. So I don't know what that's all about. So
Well,
I would
that's
assume that-
Barbara's question. I hadn't thought of it, so thanks.
Well, you were asking what things you could, different applications that you could pin in, and that's one I've used in the past, but I haven't used it for a while. I've got those people up there, and those are the ones that have stayed. just like Melissa said, in a little circle.
I'm trying to figure out, Barbara, how did I ever get those little circles up there in the first place?
Well, and you can use it, I think, in maps, but, or like, I think it's in contacts if there's somebody's address you want pinned. Do you go contacts and do it? Or do you do it when you're in the mapping thing? And does anybody care? I don't know.
Well, I am not aware of being able to do that. Is anybody aware of how that process works?
How did you-
In maps, we were speaking of, I think Mary was referencing. Al?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know
I
you
thought you
pick
started.
locations.
Oh, okay.
I would
don't-
assume that a lot of the stuff is probably
Mhm.
there's some built-in AI that whatever your recent activity is, it probably keeps that information in the cache and makes. I know whenever I'm in the dialect box to tell maps to tell it where I want to go, as soon as I start typing stuff in, it already has options for me,
Oh, yeah.
like home and frequently travel stuff. So I would assume that, it's just using some of that internal artificial intelligence to make predictive, uh, give you predictive feedback and kind of move you right along in the app and make your, advance your choices expeditiously.
Okay, I'm looking on my iPad now in Apple Maps, and I've pulled up the little drawer so I see what Al's talking about, work and other locations. Under that is a really thin line. And that section has a little caret that goes, pointing to the right. When I tap that, lo and behold, there's the word pinned again.
There you go. So
So how many places can we find pin or
well,
pinned?
wherever you need to prioritize information, I would assume that that's a good candidate to have it in, And
Although I'm trying to unpin one oh, I just had that problem. So it pins something and there's a little check mark at the top. And if you touch that, it will unpin it. So,
Richard has joined us.
Yeah, I was
woohoo!
just going to say, hello, Richard.
Yeah.
The question earlier about messages and pinning and how do you unpin if you're in well, this is on my iPhone, and you go into messages in the upper left-hand corner, there's an edit. If you hit that, you have an option of edit pins, and what comes up, it looks like when you want to remove an icon from your home screen, you get the jigglies, and the minus sign. And so I'm assuming, because I'm not going to touch any of mine, that if you hit any of those, it'll unpin it. I mean, the sequence of messages and everything will stay in your phone or in the messages, but I'm assuming it'll drop out of those circles up at the top. So that's how you would unpin one of those contacts. Fingers crossed.
Lisa, mine is in that little on the right, the circle with the three dots.
Mine
Not-
too.
Are you on your iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
Circle with three dots. I don't have a circle. You're in the messages app.
At top of messages. And then on the left, it says filters.
I don't have that.
Well,
Mm.
Okay, Richard,
But then
explain.
you have a much more recent phone than I do.
Oh,
Mm.
I'm up to date in the software, but the hardware is sadly lacking.
okay. Well, anyway, but it can be done.
Yeah, within the messages app itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have now been joined by the illustrious Richard Applebaum. How are you, sir? I haven't seen your face in a long time. Haven't gotten to insult you. Poor me. Lucky you.
I am super terrific, wonderful, excellent. In fact, if I was doing any better at all, you'd have to clone me just to contain all the magnificence.
Oh God.
Oh, this is good to hear.
Sounds like a
Clone,
bad
clone
idea.
Richard.
Good to hear. Richard's here.
Man, that's dangerous.
So we're just doing a bit of back
Q&A.
and forth Q&A, and so we're glad you're aboard with us and hope that your infinite knowledge can be used to our benefit. Ha ha
Sure.
ha. Now, oh, Barbara, you have a question.
Well, yeah, no, it's not a question. I just did figure out how to pin something. If you go to any message and just long press on it, that option comes up. You pin it and then their
Cool.
person will appear at the top.
Wow. Huh.
So it's the person or the message, though?
The person.
Go to a message that someone that you would like to, that you communicate with a lot sent you. And just long press on it, and it says, and then it comes up with a choice of pin, mark as unread, hide alerts, or delete. So if you pin it, then their
Oh, yeah.
name will
Gotcha.
go right up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Gotcha.
you want
Yeah.
to message them, they're right at the top.
And if you want to unpin it, reverse the process. Long press on the pinned person and choose to unpin the pinned person. It's kind of like pin the tail. No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Uh-oh,
I
he's on a
posted,
roll.
So now we have 3 ways to unpin, I guess.
if you look in the chat,
Do you use it a lot, Barbara?
Yeah, sure. When I want to send someone a message, then when I open my text, their name's right up at the top. If it's someone that I communicate with frequently, then it makes it real easy to send them a text.
I
Does that make
posted
sense?
Mm-hmm.
in the chat, I posted all the Apple
Right.
apps that support pinning,
Penny,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
how you
Yeah.
get at them.
There's other apps that support pinning, Sir Al?
Yes. Notes,
Yes.
messages, mail, Safari,
You're late,
reminders,
Richard.
maps, files, freeform, believe it or not.
Why would
Right.
you pin someone in? Okay.
Again, anywhere you have information stacking up and you want to prioritize it, stick something at the top of the pile virtually.
One
I think
more
these-
point about the pinning and messages. I think what I found out, I think it limits you to 6 pins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It
Oh,
does.
okay.
Good to know.
You know, that's for most people that works.
Well, that
Well,
wouldn't be
that's
a
a lot
problem.
of real estate.
That wouldn't be a problem for me because I don't have more than 6 friends. So
Yeah.
No
And it's a lot of
comment.
real estate at the top of your,
Oh,
Hey, Bob, is
screen.
that 6 pins across the entire app, or is it by folder or something? If you had a folder of information, could you use 6 pins for just that folder of stuff?
I don't know the answer to that question, Al.
I don't
I
think you
think-
can folderize pinned things.
Oh, okay.
You would use tags, I think, because tags would allow you to mark different kinds of content
Ah, yes.
and gather them together
groups, yeah.
under a tag moniker.
Holy cow, can you explain the difference between a tag and a pin?
Yeah, tags used to be the color. Remember, you used to be
yeah.
able to color a document or an icon, and we're going to get that back again. But tags, well, even in notes,
I
you
just found a
can,
4th way to pin.
organize information using a hashtag. So the little number symbol or the pound symbol
Right.
and a word without spaces.
Mhm.
And so then you don't have to put those notes in a folder, but at the bottom of the list of how notes can be organized, tags is an option.
Excuse me, just who? Wait, I'm sorry. Do I know you, Melissa?
You do, Richard. I've been in some of your workshops.
Well,
Not
come
a
to
lot
more of them.
recently.
Please come to more of them. Well, I'm actively recruiting. Please come to more of them.
Man,
Well, like I'm looking under lists and I can't under reminders and I'm not able to pin.
No, we're talking about everybody else, Mary, not you.
Well, that's true. Thank you so much, Richard.
Royal Richard.
Yeah.
What about a long press?
And yeah, in reminders, it says to tap and hold on a list, select pin.
Okay, maybe if I update, yeah.
And apparently, according to Chat GPT, in the Apple Notes app, there are no official limit to how many notes you can pin. You can pin as many notes as you'd like across your folders, and they
No.
will stay at the top of the list within each folder or all iCloud. Oh, let's see, or all iCloud cloud view.
Huh.
Stuck it in the chat there.
Well,
I'll be dipped. Pin note. Who knew?
There it is. You can pin your reminder.
I didn't know it.
well,
My
you
grocery
can.
list will now be easier to find.
Cool.
I had no idea you could use it across so many different apps.
And I've been doing it, I mean, like for file names and for note titles and things like that. I've been doing it by putting a tilde in front of the file name to alpha sort it up to the top and ZZ to stick things down at the bottom. And anyhow, this
That
is
works.
handy to know. Thank you. Can I go now?
No.
You are not excused.
I know there's no
Bob.
excuse for me.
What was the fourth way, Bob?
Bob, you're muted,
Yes.
which is just a
Is it-
blessing to all of us, nonetheless.
Actually, it wasn't for messages, it was for Zoom. You do
You
a
can-
long press on your own, or I guess you can pin yourself to the first box on the display,
Oh, wow.
so that no
Huh.
matter how many people come and go, you're still in the
You're at the top. All
upper
right.
left.
Huh. That's amazing.
And that same, and the long press gives you a couple other things that are handy though. Raise your hand, mute
Oh,
or unmute, pin,
wow.
hide self view, or rename are all in that pop-up menu.
Huh.
So that's handy.
Except
Yeah.
if you pin yourself, it takes over your whole screen, which is a little scary for some of us. Just a big picture of you,
No,
right?
I was gonna say I'm not
Why would
sure
it do
what
that?
you.
Well, on the desktop, that's what it does. I don't know about on the iPad and like right now I
Well,
can
I've had myself pinned for a long time and it's never taken over the desktop on either my Mac or the iPad.
well, I don't know what to say.
I don't know.
You can also move the pictures around. For instance, if you don't want yourself up top and you haven't pinned yourself, you just click on it and drag it wherever you want it. Now,
Wow.
the proviso is that won't work. If there's somebody within the group that has their hand up,
Whoa. That's
can't move
sweet.
anything.
You can do the same
That's
thing on the
sweet.
iPad.
But you can move because I don't need to see myself any more frequently than I have to. So I always move myself to the end of the line, and
I
that way I
just
get to see
promoted
everybody
Richard to
else.
the top of the top line.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
Lord.
encourage him. And Randy, you got a hand up, sir.
Yes,
Speak.
and speaking of Zoom, one thing I really enjoy to make the photos of the whole group, the individuals, larger is I always go up to View, which is in the upper right-hand corner of the Zoom frame, and click
Oh,
on
yeah.
Zoom, and I do hide, let me find it here, hide non-video participants. That way, the non-video people that elect not to show their photo during Zoom, they're still part and they show up in the chat element of meeting chat and participants list. But it just makes the people that are willing to participate with a photo, the photos larger because you don't have empty boxes taking up space. So, and you can always change it back to hide or show non-video participants in that
Wow.
view. So that's something I always enjoy, just to make those that do elect, larger pictures.
So how do
No,
you do
that's
that
great.
again?
Oh, Richard.
Upper right, see where the timer is, the YouTube is, and upper right of the frame on your
View.
laptop or desktop. There's view in the very, very upper right of the Zoom frame.
Of the Zoom, bar. Yeah.
The Zoom bar,
At the
yeah,
toolbar
top.
top.
Yeah, it's the same line where the red, the yellow, and the green tabs are on the left side. Go all the way over to the right side, and you'll see on mine, I show, that we're being recorded, YouTube.
Two.
There's a scheduled meeting time, and then it says view. So click on view, just one click, the drop down comes down, and mine shows gallery right now. But there's speaker, gallery, multi-speaker, sort
I
gallery.
like that multi-speaker. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
And just play with them because they all have a different
Very-
aspect to show and display.
I
But
didn't.
it's just personal preference. I like to make the boxes bigger of the participants showing, video larger. So I always go hide non-video participants. That doesn't mean they're not part of the meeting. They're still part, but they're empty boxes
like to look
take
at
up
'em.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a black box
Right.
taking up one of the spaces for people. Yeah.
That's a great point, Randy. Now, has anyone else got a question, a statement, a declaration of importance?
Yes,
Go, Richard.
I declare that Mary should bring the cat onto the screen.
He's a frequent visitor anyway. He's gonna show.
Right.
Nope, not if he's eating. He's eating, so he
Okay.
doesn't care.
We got time for
Oh.
you, man. Mother Nature requires what she requires.
Well, does anybody have any other little tricks, but like the pinning thing that they find real helpful that some of us might not know about?
You know, the problem is that we all have our little tricks that we think everybody knows about. And
That's
then
true.
we find out as we're doing something, like I'll be doing something in front of, it could be Al, or Al could be doing something in front of me, and I'll go, wait, what did you just do?
I just noticed something
use
on
that.
that pinning where I think it was Mary said that when she did pin, it brought a big picture of her up on the screen. And if you go back to view, after you pin yourself, you have to go back and choose gallery again for it to take your big picture off, and otherwise it makes a big picture of you in the middle of the screen.
Well, thank you.
Wow.
Nice
I
find.
just, I was just playing around with it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's nice if you have multiple screens too. That's we can have,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
speaker and gallery view open at the same time. It's pretty helpful.
right. Yeah.
Well, here's a little hint that one of my secretaries gave me is like, at least for files or folders, is I always start them with a capital, like the ones, like if it's anybody, it'd be capital A space, and then it'd be anybody. Capital S space speakers. And then it's really easy to see your list of files because you can just visually, you can just catch it real easy. So I'll just throw that one out because I can't think of anything else that I've
There's-
done recently that's kind of fun.
Here's one I read about long ago and forgot about it. You know how difficult it is to do a screenshot on an iPad because you're using the two buttons around the corner from each other. And
Yeah.
if you have one of these,
What?
Pencil? A
yeah, the
stylus?
pencil, you go to the bottom left corner and sweep up, and you have an instant screenshot.
Oh, huh.
And it brings
Actually,
it
it
up.
works with your finger too.
Do what?
Oh, does it? Okay.
Do what?
And
Don't you
and you can edit, you can do things like circles and highlights and whatnot on it. And then you hit the done, and you can save it to photos, to files, to quick note.
Okay, so wait. I've got my iPad open. I want to take a screenshot. What are you doing? Assuming I don't have an Apple Pencil.
Melissa,
Bottom
Finger.
left.
Bottom left corner, flick up. Bottom left corner, flick
No,
up.
I don't get the same thing as you're saying. With the pencil, I get
No
a
pencil.
screenshot.
I mean, I have a pencil, but I'm doing it without a pencil. It's the bottom left corner.
What I get is the thing with all the open apps.
Yeah.
Are you
Is
in
it
the middle?
diagonal,
Yeah.
Melissa?
I'm
Is
sorry,
it
what?
diagonal? Is it diagonal or straight up?
It is from the corner,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going
Towards the center?
into the center,
Yeah.
not up, not across, as Barbara says, a diagonal into the center, a quick flick of the finger or a pencil.
Hmm.
Anybody else have success?
I think you have to do a setting too under General Apple Pencil. It says Pencil Gestures, bottom left corner screenshot. So you have to
Yeah.
turn that on, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
In
there we go.
settings?
And
Yeah. Settings. I'm sorry. Yeah, in settings under their Apple Pencil.
yeah.
I took myself right out of the meeting.
Oh, no.
okay, Richard, that's important what Barbara just said.
Oh, okay.
Open up
Yeah.
settings and find Apple Pencil.
Oh, you
And
have to
under
turn it on?
pencil gestures, which, we're going to pretend our finger is a pencil. It does say bottom left corner, and you have options. It can do various things. It can do a quick note, a screenshot, or you can have it turned off.
Cool.
Oh,
So the bottom right corner also can be where you start a quick note or a screenshot, or you turn that off. But it works with your finger as well. Thank you, Barbara.
I will have to play with that one.
Mm.
And I have a hand up, Rich. Rich, how are you, Rich? It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little behind the curve here. I've got some emails that I'd like to group together. How do you make a tag?
Oh, who was doing it? Was that you, Melissa, with the
Melissa.
tags?
Okay, give us some more detail, Rich.
Well, I've got an email and I want to link it to two others. So do I use a tag for that?
That's an interesting question. Let me open up my email and go look at that for a minute. Okay, when I've looked at a message,
An email.
yeah, an email. Yeah, so it says Macworld Daily. I'm gonna on my phone. I am gonna swipe from right to left, and I see trash, flag, and more with a dot dot dot.
Mhm.
So just looking at the options that are there, more is kind of a big question. What are all the things that it can do? I I do flag a lot of messages personally, and then I never unflag them. Sometimes I delete them, but anyway. Um,
You're not alone on
this
that.
on this list of options under more, you can move a message to a folder. Yeah, that kind of thing. But I don't see tag in the same way I've seen it in other places.
Okay. I don't even see the three dots. I've got three circles, a blue one with an arrow to the left, a red one with a flag, and a purple one with a file box.
I am not actually looking at the message. I'm looking at my list of messages.
Okay.
And when I'm looking at a list of messages, I do see a preview of the text in the message. But
Yeah.
again, if I just swipe from right to left is where I see trash, flag, and more.
Well, when I swipe right to left, it erases it. It just eliminates it.
Yeah, it did. That's why I practiced with a message I didn't care about. Sorry, Rich. I should have warned you about that.
I did that
You
too.
can find it. You can find the message you just deleted, right? It's in the mailbox called trash or archive.
Yeah, okay. I'm not worried
So,
about that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, I'm not worried about retrieving it. I just,
Yes. So right now I can't say I've found anything for tagging things. The way I have seen tags used in the past, recently, is for, say, a numbers spreadsheet, a keynote presentation, and could be something else. So in iCloud, those are stored in their own folders. But if you add a tag to them, and let's say, it's a MacNexus presentation, for July, then the tag would be the #, the word MacNexus, if and we don't want a space or anything in the tag. We'd then say MacNexus July, so it's all one word. So that would be a spreadsheet we're playing with, a keynote presentation, a pages document, something else. So then when we went, say, to the Files app, we could search for the tag # MacNexus July, and those 3 or 4 documents from their different folders would all be listed
Nice.
in theory.
in theory, okay, well, that sounds good. Maybe I'm
So
asking the wrong,
Dennis, take it away.
maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Is there a,
Yeah,
is
I'm
there a
sorry. Go
link?
ahead.
Is there a way to link 2 or 3 messages from different people?
Copy and paste.
You mean a thread?
Maybe.
I mean, doesn't everyone who responds to whatever email, can't you have it display as just a thread of messages?
But
You're all
they'd have to be
responding
on the
same-
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't merge them after the fact, right, Al?
Not to my knowledge.
So even
Unless you just
Rich in
copied and pasted and created a
messages,
document, dumped them in, like created a pages document and turned it to a PDF or something. I mean, you could do that if it was that important.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that answers my question.
if you start out in messages and you message 3 people, then that is a group and all of those people would be together. But you might also have other individual conversations about other things with those people individually.
Don't want any secrets to get out.
That's how, yeah. Are you saying that's how the Pentagon secrets get out?
Shit.
Okay. Dennis, come back. Where did you go?
Well, I'm out doing my evening walk, but talking about the pencils, Mary was good enough to pass along one of her extra ones to me. And Mary, I finally got the cord to work.
Great.
But while we were chatting, I shared something with her that I thought was interesting that I'd heard about asking questions on AI. And the caution was to be kind of careful what you ask, because what goes into that database stays there forever and ever. So probably not a good idea to ask where to hide your collection of gold coins or something like that. Just kind of be careful what goes in there.
Yeah, that's innocuous. I mean, you could ask some other really incriminating things that, heaven forbid, come back and, if you're really paranoid, and we live in a kind of paranoid era, crazy stuff happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Scary.
So is this the way the general meetings usually are done, or is this unusual?
Unusual.
Yeah.
We try to have a speaker and, like either Pete or Ken or generally have a topic that they do a presentation on, and then we do a lot of Q&A, Richard. If you'd come, you would know.
Well, I would know, but I guess part of my curiosity here is that it seems to me that Mr. Podcast, that would be the guy with the long gray hair who lives up the street from me, that he would be like a valuable speaker anytime you're needing one. Because Al, and I don't say this in a bad way, Al always has a lot of stuff to share, and he is Mr. Podcast. I mean, he just has an excellent. I'm sorry to be complimenting you; it goes against my grain, but he has an excellent way of presenting and showing things. And if anyone ever says that I said something nice about Al or anyone for that matter, I will deny it.
You'll deny it.
Yeah.
I'm just a good researcher. I'm just regurgitating information that I pick up along the way,
But you
I'm a
do it
news
well.
aggregator.
But
You
you do, isn't that what everybody does? I mean, for the
Yeah,
most
yeah, they do. You're right. And I wish I could store, a tenth of what I come across. If I had a
Anyhow, Al, I encourage you to step up and say, yes, I will be your speaker when the other two aren't available. I think we should just jump into that. That's
yeah, well,
just
it takes a lot of preparation, and I have a
no, it does not.
I actually suggested that to him, to Al, for tonight, that he might share with us some of his endeavors in AI, in fact, as another perspective, which was really kind of a lead on to what you're speaking to, Richard.
Al, I'm just going to tell you this.
But that's just off the record, just between you and I. Nobody else heard that, right?
Al, I will tell
So
you this. If you were to write down, and I'm following up on what was just said, if you were to write down 5 bullet points, these are the 5 things that I can or would like to talk on, you'd be lucky to hit 2 of them. You would you don't need to write yourself. You are a subject matter expert. You do not need to write yourself out a script of any sort.
I'm more comfortable doing that.
Get over it.
oh no, you don't
Have to be
understand,
prepared.
Richard.
He likes the visual
He's
impact too. And
well,
I
he's
appreciate that.
I think when you take the time to have some compelling visuals and stuff, it adds tremendously. People can get bored sitting back, listening to a whole bunch of tech banter that they're only moderately interested in.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
eyes
right.
closed,
That's
glaze
why there's
over, and
no you're right, Al. That's why there's no popularity among audio only podcasts. I mean, there's probably nobody doing that. So yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Wiseacre.
Melissa, you have your hand up.
Well, Al, you mentioned you're a researcher, and I want to take off on something Richard has complimented you on. Oh, I didn't hear that. Um, but I'm imagining Safari is a potential future topic. And anybody that's doing a lot of web research, would probably be using Safari. One of the things I've tried using, and I think I'm successful, are profiles. And what I was able to do was create several profiles that, because I like to put things in boxes and I, kind of isolate and make silos of activity in my life. So I have a personal profile, but I also have an Apple resources profile. And so I haven't made a bookmark in my Safari in a long, long time. When we first started with the internet and web browsing, bookmarks were just mind-boggling, right? But when was the last time you tried to organize them? Search has gotten better and better.
Yeah, search these days is
Anyway, so just saying Safari, it's such a key part of our lives where we access online shopping, where we I don't know, access all of our other kind of content. We're constantly hit with, oh, get a membership in this site, or use a password on this page, or those kinds of. Safari would be a great topic.
It sounds like you could actually lead the charge on that one, Melissa. So think about
I would be
that.
happy to work with like two other people
Well,
to say, this is my little, world of Safari, and somebody that does more online shopping or something like that, if they could figure out how to not show us their credit card, and so we wouldn't all be buying something off their Amazon account, um, you know, and just deep research like Al does, and how he finds that stuff. And I love that, in his presentation, he's got the source on the slide with the example content. So,
yeah.
I mean, you're doing a great job, Al. Oh, whoops,
Thank
I
you,
wasn't
madam.
supposed to say that.
No,
I just asked.
now,
that's only Richard who doesn't compliment
Oh,
people.
okay.
uh,
All right.
I think this is a great segue into something I was somewhat playing with intellectually with our concerns for today is that before we have done meetings where members brought forth, I think we used to do apps, was their favorite app and the presentation on that. So I think that maybe this is a conversation to encourage all of any of our members to be willing to maybe present their quote unquote favorite thing or some nuance because many of us don't deep dive into everything. In fact, we could not well, we could, but we would have no lives.
Right, exactly.
And so if the general membership is willing, I think we should explore this for the future, not even just as a what should we say, a filler, but maybe as a way to have us all be a bit more involved and expressing our knowledge set. Do I hear any dissent on that? Oh, good. So that's something we should consider. But I think this is maybe a great and perfect time for me to make again, because we have a few more people in attendance, a general request by the board. Please, members, please join us. We are a board whom is doing the very best we can. We've had some complications. We do have a vacant seat on the board, which does often can present a difficulty for having a quorum. And I just think that today has been a great example of how dynamic and knowledgeable each of us are in our own way. So that's my little spiel for that. Al, you got anything you want to throw in there too, or Bob, or
No, I think
Randy?
you articulated the situation very well. Uh, uh, I just want to leave a parting mark about as far as interest stuff. Uh, there's so much buzz about this whole AI stuff. A lot of it is just market hype, but a lot of it is there's some use cases in there where it's pretty helpful to find patterns in a tsunami of information. And I'm getting my feet wet more and more in it every day. I've started actually subscribing to Chat GPT,
Oh, way back.
and man, you can get your hands on a whole bunch of information and move
I
it around, and uh,
I
it's
told you to
helpful.
do
It's
something today on it, but
well, yeah.
I mentioned it.
How do you
I didn't
think?
tell you.
How do you
But
think this keynote got put together? Uh,
well, I get that, and it was just my suggestion.
yeah,
Melissa,
yeah.
you got your hand up again. Look at that. I'm actually watching. Watch out, world. He's alert. Yes, Melissa.
I am we subscribe to Xfinity.
Yes.
So we're Comcast
Perplexity.
TV and internet. And Perplexity Pro is available if you're an Xfinity customer
Oh,
and you
okay.
go into the rewards section. So you have to go to
Okay.
your
Yeah.
Xfinity login, whatever,
Right.
go down to the store and say, how do I do this? Anyway, they had 12 months free, and that might still be available as an offer.
Mm-hmm.
So Perplexity Pro, again, we're just hearing a little bit of rumor that Apple is looking at Perplexity
Right.
as a possible purchase or partner.
Yes.
They're
They
looking
had
at it. Yeah.
they had a different approach to AI, and it's search more than chat, but it still works the same way.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
a fan, and I took advantage of that free program through Xfinity, and I love it.
okay, great. And you're using it?
Yes, every day.
Oh, woo, there you go.
And another,
Well, Dennis, you just volunteered to give us a presentation. Oh, he goes away. He says, stop that. No.
and I found another one. One of my nephews is a techie, professionally, and he likes Claude, and he says that, which I mentioned the other Saturday. I'd never heard of it, but it gets pretty high ratings on the ethical scale, which I'm not totally sure what that means, but he seems to think it's the best, and
How is that spelled, Mary?
Claude,
With
Claude, and he
an E
uses it,
on
I
the end.
think, he's a programmer. And I think he uses it to help him program. So it may be pretty technical. And Bob, you're doing fun stuff with your background. I like it. Keeping him awake there.
I
I'm
posted a
sure it's
link for
awake.
Infinity customers to check into that Perplexity Pro.
Yeah, that's
There
it.
is a free version of Perplexity.
Yes, there
Perplexity.
is. In the chat, I just pasted something, and maybe the links actually work there. So you can, if you're an Xfinity customer, or if somebody else in your family is an Xfinity customer, I thought you could get more than one code.
Huh.
So anyway, read the fine print. What can I say?
Do you use it, Melissa?
Yeah. I'm not
And
using it as much as Dennis though. But yes, I just uploaded a spreadsheet to Perplexity, and like somebody said, you don't want to put in personal information. So I kind of, reduced the information that was in the spreadsheet. And then I asked questions about that particular spreadsheet. So
It will also
that's
write
kind of,
formulas for you in Excel.
yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Another place to go is DuckDuckGo.
Oh,
And
okay.
actually, okay,
Use
so
that all the
that's a
time.
search engine that's an alternative to Google. But if you just go to Duck AI,
Oh, they
Duck
have their
dot,
own. Wow.
let's go new. Where am I? New. Yeah, Duck dot AI. So it's
Hmm.
that's interesting. It's a place to try several, and actually Claude may be one of those.
Oh, wow. Under DuckDuckGo. Okay.
Um, so you can try Llama, Claude, O4 Mini, Mistral, which I believe is
Oh,
open source. Anyway,
wow.
Duck
DuckDuckGo.
AI.
Huh. Well, we are at a juncture. And at this juncture, I will ask my dear great friend Randy to lead the raffle. And I will let's see, I'm not sure Lisa or Mary are would be our reference individuals, I believe. And I have a Siri and I have this
A disagreement?
let's just say our relationship isn't the best.
You need some AI, man. Coming next year.
And Randy has so graciously offered uh, um, to handle our raffle. So I'll just hand this over to Randy, your co-host, and I'm gonna be in the background, quiet man, as I always am. Randy.
Well, thank you. Usually, Lisa and Mary coach me through it. I just get the random numbers, but I think Mary or Lisa call out the amount we're going for, and we do two different types of raffles, and Mary or Lisa will kind of outline or preface what we're going for. One is for the attendees here in the meeting, which seems to be at least
23.
23, but Mary
Yes.
gets, or Lisa gets the official number of
Oh,
participants
yes.
eligible, all with names and everything shown. And so, Mary, Lisa, take over as usual, and
Do
then
I
once
need to
you're ready,
rename
I'll.
myself? Excuse me, do I need to rename myself?
We know who,
Because
Oh,
we
you're
know.
okay.
Tom.
Okay, I didn't want
Yeah.
to change it for
No,
when we
we
have to
know who
check it
you
back.
are.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my God! Okay,
It,
go on. Excuse
it,
me,
Go,
Randy.
Lisa. Go, Lisa.
oh, me. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, for the raffle tonight, we have four $25 awards, e-gifts from Amazon, and one $100 e-gift from Amazon. So
You got a pretty good chance.
you got a pretty
Yeah.
good shot at it, folks. That's five different
Yeah.
awards among 23 people.
Oh.
Great. And
And
they,
and
yes.
as always, if you win one of the $25 ones, and you should be lucky enough to have your name called for the $100 one, you get to choose which one to give back. Assuming you want to give back the $25 one, we'd go back and draw again for that $25 one. But hey, surprise us.
Wait a
Stay,
minute.
stay
Should
with
we
the
make it?
25 and we'll redo the 100. We have no we have no bias in this case.
Should
Great.
we take Richard out though? Because he never comes.
Oh,
No.
Ah,
no, Richard
Maybe,
had some good
Oh,
suggestions.
Okay,
maybe
okay.
this will be motivation
that
to join us
sounds
more frequently.
Okay.
sounds like a love affair there.
So, who wants to give me the official number of eligible members that will be considered for 4 $25 gift cards and 1 $100 gift card?
We have 23 eligible participants tonight.
3. And what I will be doing is I will be asking you know who a random number between 1 and 23. So that's how I do that. So I hope I don't set off any of your individual assistants.
Devices, yeah.
Okay, are we ready, Mary and Lisa?
We're ready.
Sure.
First one, number 1 for $25. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
It's 1.
Oh,
Alice Rivet.
It's 1. Okay.
Hey,
That's
Al.
Al.
woohoo!
Al, great. Okay, congratulations, Al. Number 2 for $25. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
It's 22.
22
Number
is
22 is Mr. Spencer.
holy cow.
Thomas. Great. The third $25. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
That would be 6.
6, Charles Murphy.
Great, Charles. Congratulations. The last one for $25. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
The answer is 1.
That's already been called. Okay. Siri, wake up now.
I can't help with that, but change it in a second.
I love it. Yes. That was brilliant.
Hey Siri.
She's sassy tonight.
Yes. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23. Oh, it went off on my other iPad. That doesn't count. Let me close the door just a second, please.
I think he said good night and it
Yes.
I think she's pouting. I think she said, I've given you numbers.
she's
What's wrong with the
unhappy.
numbers I've
Okay.
given you?
Here we go. We'll get through this. Thomas, I'm sorry.
Oh no. Hey, you're doing a much
Number
I was
4,
good.
last raffle for the $25 amount. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
The answer is 7.
So,
7, Dennis Irwin.
oh,
Right, Dennis. Power
Hey.
walker extraordinaire.
okay, here is the big one. So we're having one random number and it's for $100. So everybody
Thanks, guys, for
cross
the
your
other.
finger. Cross your fingers. Okay, you too. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 23.
It's 9.
9.
Number 9, Indolus.
Yay, Endless. Yay.
Right.
I think Siri doesn't like dairy farmers.
Yeah.
Being a dairy farmer's son, it just treats me bad, you know. All that milk logic or something.
I will be scheduling these through Amazon tonight, so you will receive the email from Amazon. It is not a scam.
Yeah.
well, let's check somebody from here could win the all member.
You don't do that one anymore, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Not at oops. Zip.
Oh, Randy, we thank you for your help. That was excellent. And don't ever apologize because you've seen what Siri does to me. Okay. We've been through that. Are there any statements, questions, declarations, or other
Yeah,
attributes?
I was muted when you called my name, so thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for being a
Welcome.
member, Dennis, and participating. And we're going to have you, your day comes to speak now. Remember, we talked about that tonight. No. Anything
I
else?
know nothing.
Rich, you're leaving?
Yeah,
Good to see
Tom,
you,
I do
Rich.
Tom, I
Richard?
have one other thing, and that
Yes.
I sent Tom this message, but if any of y'all live in the area of Watt and Whitney, Watt and Auburn, there's this really, really great mom and pop owned place called Granite's that does burgers and subs and chicken wings and all those kinds of wonderful things. And I wouldn't call them fast food in the vein of McDonald's, but they're certainly not slower food in the vein of an IHOP or something. So they're just they're a little mom and pop place, and it's family run business. Anyhow, they're really good. The prices are reasonable. At the moment, I can't remember the people's names, but it's a homespun business and it's called Granites. And you got to kind of look for it. It's in the shopping center where there used to be a grocery outlet. You just
Oh, used
drive
to be a
down
group.
that shopping center away, if you're starting out at the auto zone on Whitney and then you keep going in the direction that used to be where, you pass the grocery outlet and keep going, and you're not going to see it, but you look to the right carefully and past the liquor store and to the right there's granites, and they're not associated with that horrible granites out on
Oh,
Manstein and Auburn. So if you've
well.
been there and you think, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Yes, it is terrible. But these people aren't associated with it. So there you go. That's my pitch for a really great family-owned business.
And I want to make a pitch for you showing up. It's been fun. I never get to see you, and I never show up for your classes.
But
So
you
I
know,
guess you could blame me for that.
but
So
Tom, you, me, Al, I mean, we're all in the same neighborhood apparently.
I evidently I
Tenants.
know Al's around the corner. Well, it's a bit, but I mean, I go, yeah.
I'm saying
Uh,
granites. The three of us should do a burger day.
well,
I'm up for it. We just I gotta look at my talk to my social director.
Oh, okay. Well, let us know. I do have yours, Applebaum, and I
Okay.
got yours. So let's figure that out. Everyone else, thank you for attending this meeting. I
Good.
hope you enjoyed it. I think it's a great, it made a great point that we are a club full of knowledgeable people
Fair.
and that we might want to think of again having meetings where each of us or some number of us bring our knowledge to the meeting as a presentation. So
And
anyway,
that's going to be necessary, by the way. Ken is going to be gone
for
for, I think, 5
6 months,
months
yeah, yeah,
this year. So
shortly, yeah.
we will definitely need some help on that. And I'm trying to contact Pete and some other people. But we can't always get a speaker. So this is kind of what we get, guys. And I found it
Al,
useful. So thank you.
I was here tonight. What do you
Randy.
mean? I'm here every meeting.
It's great to
Well,
see Bob, and Bob get
oh yeah,
stronger, and it's just
right.
great to see you.
Yep. And he celebrated his birthday too.
Birthday
We
recently,
didn't do
yes.
the happy birthday to Bob, but we'll embarrass him as much as we can tonight.
Thank you.
So,
M for
Good
Bob.
seeing you, Bob.
Well, if there's no further ado, I will declare this. Oh, we're not even done yet. It's just, oh, this is like
1
perfect
minute.
timing. 1 minute. This
It's
really
time to
worked out.
stop the recording, though.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you
Well,
so much.
I
Way to
was
go,
going to
Melissa.
stop it. I was just making sure we were getting all the nuggets of
It
the
wasn't
golden nuggets that fall out of our mouths or our minds or well, whatever. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I will see you on the next juncture. Cheers.
bye-bye.
Good.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thomas.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for hosting, Thomas.
Oh, dude, it was my pleasure. Worked out for once.
Thank
I
you.
feel like the king.
Getting better. We're getting better at this.
It worked out. Thank you guys for everybody pitching in. I appreciate it. I was a little distracted this week we had
Sure.
lots of medical stuff going on.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
no. I thought it was a perfect example of what we can do
I agree.
as an option, and we'll encourage some of us to step forward. Possibly myself. I don't know what I know, but also, but
Well,
Never know.
Melissa, some partnerships, it looks like.
sure,
Mary?
absolutely.
Mary, I'd be
Go.
willing to come to more of these and help out a little bit, but I need the bribe.
I
What's the,
got it.
He needs a
Okay.
burger. He needs
I
a
don't
cake.
know. I
I need the
don't.
cat.
Oh, the
Well,
cat.
you were looking, he made an appearance and you were
Weren't
not looking at the screen.
Okay, my bad. I apologize. Not to you. I apologize to the cat.
cat.
Yeah.
Of course, not to you.
What is the cat's name?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
What's
thanks
the
for joining. And Bev, I'm glad you were able to join us, even if it was just for the last half hour or so.
All right.
Great.
So,
Yeah, I had a conflict that I don't normally go to that meeting, and so I tried to fit three
Yeah.
things in the space of one.
It's
Oh.
short.
yeah.
So, avail yourself. YouTube, MacNexus.
Right.
channel.
Yep.
Good
All
night.
righty. Speaking